I want to share a story. This is a tale about the difference between $1 million and $1 billion. Now, money is an interesting thing because most of us, myself included, have never had $1 million at any one point in time. But most of us across our lives will have $1 million all up. $50,000 a year times 20 years is $1 million.
It's true.
Even $25,000 times 40 years is $1 million.
Yep.
We all are millionaires over time. It's just we don't have it in one place in one time. Side note, this is why you should always pay yourself first and take 5 to 10% of your salary and set it aside and learn to live on less. You don't need a new phone quite as often. You don't need a new computer quite as often. Because if you pay yourself first, over the course of 20 and 40 years, you put that money into an S&P 500 index fund like Spiders or something else similar, and you just leave it and ignore it, then it will end up being a lot of money over time. But that is a Papa Deals rant, not a Tech Deals rant, so we'll save that for another time. $1 million is a lot of money. It's a lot of money to anybody. However, it's more to some than others. But let me put this into terms that more people on an everyday perspective can understand it. If I gave you $1,000 right now and told you, you can have this $1,000, but only if you spend it today. If you don't spend it today, you don't get it. Do you think you could spend $1,000 today if I handed you $1,000 and said the condition is it must all be spent today?
$1,000?
Yes. Okay, she's not the consumer in the family.
No, I'm not.
Could you hand me $1,000 and have me spend it?
Yes.
That's not very hard.
Yes, I could.
$1 million is $1,000 a day for roughly 3 years. If you are given $1,000 a day, that's $30,000 a month. Now, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to me. I don't make that much. But if you gave me $1,000 a day, that's $30,000 a month. I could absolutely, without any problem whatsoever, find something to spend that on. I'm good. And of course, once you have enough stuff, you get a nice computer and you get a nicer car and a few other things you run, then that's when you start taking vacations and you start doing some other fun stuff.
Computer museum.
Oh, shush. But that is a manageable amount of money that's at least remotely understandable to the majority of people, at least in Western civilization.
Yeah.
Poor people in India making $3 a day, maybe that's a separate conversation. But to most people watching us, $1,000 a day is within the realm of sanity. But if you had $1 million, if I gave you $1 million and you spent $1,000 a day, you'd run out of money in 3 years. $1 billion, if you were given $1 billion when Christ was born, 2,000 years ago, for those of you who don't know that. Well, there's somebody.
There's someone.
And you spent $1,000 a day, you would still have money for the next 1,000 years. The scale difference between $1 million and $1 billion is difficult to grasp within normal people's lives. 3 years of money versus 3,000 years of money.
That's true.
$1,000 a day, $30,000 a month for 3 millennia is $1 billion. And Jeff Bezos now has 200 $200 billion. What's 200 times 3,000?
A lot. 6-something? 60 billion years or 60-something?
Well, 2 times 3,000 is 6,000.
Yes.
Times 10 is
6 million.
60,000.
60, yes.
Times another 10 is 600,000. Jeff Bezos could spend $1,000 a day from before humanity existed.
For 600,000 years?
Humanity has existed for approximately 200 to 250,000 years per the most recent scientist information. I mean, that's our best guess.
Yeah.
If he had started spending $1,000 a day
Free fiber internet for all.
when humans first existed, he would still have money for the next several 100,000 years.
Spending like you're in Congress, exactly.
It is a level of money he would have difficulty spending it all if he tried within his lifetime. It is an utterly insane amount of money. It's short of just giving it away or just buying 747s. There's nothing you can buy with that much money of any appreciation.
You could buy the world.
Well, no, but it's my point is in normal life. Normal people spending
Yes.
$1,000 a day. If you had $1,000 to spend every day for a whole year, that'd be $365,000.
That's a lot of money.
If your job was to just buy things with that money, you would run out of things to buy. Everybody goes, well, man, I could finally get an RTX 2080 Ti. I could buy the new 3090 coming out. I could buy a nice monitor. Yes, but you only need one. What are you going to do with 6 of them? What would you do with 6 2080 Ti's? Nothing. You buy one. Great.
Yeah.
You remember that watch we saw in that mall that one time that was nice? Great. You buy one.
Yeah.
You don't need 2.
Nope.
You might buy yourself a nice car. Maybe you want a nice red Mercedes or something. Great. You buy one. Then what? There comes a point at where it goes from I have a nice car to now I have 30 of them to keep track of. I can tell you from experience, the more of something you have, the less special it is. How many times have people expressed how cool it must be to play with all this hardware? Let me see that SSD. This is a 2 terabyte premium SSD. Very cool. Everybody should have one. When you have one, they're awesome. When you have 5, they become less awesome.
Yes.
What if you had 500 of them? What if you had an entire shelf over there from floor to ceiling stacked with these to the ceiling?
Well, then you'd be Newegg.
Then you become Newegg. They become inventory. And I'll give you a good example. We did an installation about 15 years ago of AMD Athlon XP machines for a business. I forget how many, 50, 40? Getting a 1.4 or 1.8 gigahertz AMD Athlon XP back in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, I forget exactly what year it was, 2004, 2003. That's pretty cool. When you have 50 of them, you have a job. And you have inventory.
Yeah.
And you have an assembly line.
You're Amazon.
And you have
you're
part
Jeff
numbers.
Bezos.
If you ever doubt this, work at a car dealership. They have 200 cars parked out front. They're all inventory numbers.
Yep.
They're not special anymore. Oh, look, the new Ford Raptor came in, $75,000, 450 horsepower, big tires. It's really cool. Oh, look, there's 11 more right next to it. It's inventory. So what would you do with $1 billion?
Invest it. Go sit on my beach.
I would take a chunk of it and I would create a charity that is devoted to making technology accessible to all. Because I believe that one of the best gifts you can give disadvantaged people and poor people and people who don't have access to the stuff. See, I grew up, I had an Apple IIe when I was 10 years old. I got a 386 that was thousands of dollars when I was 15 years old.
Yes.
That set me on a path in life that might never have happened if I had not come from a family that could afford those things.
Yeah.
There are a lot of families out there that simply don't have that ability.
Yeah.
I would love to create a charity where families that a used computer would be a big deal for them. And especially think about this. You got a family with maybe 4 kids.
Yep.
Maybe they can afford 1 computer.
Yep.
But imagine if you got them a second computer so the kids had a separate dedicated machine they could tinker with, play with, learn to program with, separate for mom and dad's. That gives them an opportunity to learn skills and to become comfortable with technology that could set them on a path in life for success.
Yep.
I would love to take $100 million and set that up to be a perpetual charity that creates a... See, in my mind, there are tons and tons and tons of used Dell Optiplexes and other machines that are taken out of businesses.
There are.
I see ads on Craigslist and other places all the time. I saw one the other day. I remember I showed it was actually a couple months ago. That they're like 500 machines. And they were cheap, too. I mean, $40, $50 a machine. The big thing is they just need them to go away.
Yeah.
And so what usually happens is somebody buys up that lot, they refurbish them, they add some RAM, they add some hard drives, and they go sell them for $200 or $300 on eBay. What if we took a charity and we bought those up, and we got volunteers to clean them up, and we donated them to needy families?
That'd be cool.
That would be a maximization of money because it would get the maximum number of computers to needy people for the minimum amount of investment.
Yeah.
See, buying brand new computers for people would be a poor use of charity dollars.
Well, yeah.
Buying 3 to 5 year old computers and giving them to families where they've got 4 kids in the house and 1 computer, if you double the number of computers, you create opportunities for the kids that could set them on a path that creates success and lets them be successful.
Yep.
That's what excites me.
There you go.
That's what I would do with $1 billion.
There we go. I was going to ask you what your legacy would be. There you go.
That would be awesome. That would get me excited. I just don't have the money.
No, there we go. All right, next one.
Hey, Mark Cuban, if you ever need a place to donate $100 million, I will run it. You provide the money.
There we go.
And I will make effective use of the money. I mean, I will make it I will get a deal for the money.
Oh, absolutely.
See, my goal is to take it, but there's nothing worse than people donating to a charity and then the money's wasted.
Terrell says that Carrie does that for vets.
Really? I didn't know that.
That could be interesting.